Fall is definitely upon us, and it is sadly time for us to put away our comfy sandals and flip-flops and pull out those workhorse sneakers. And I am so excited for this year's sneaker trends. They're some of the best I've seen in a while, and I couldn't wait to try them out. So today I am diving into 2025's biggest sneaker trends and seeing how some of these shoes might stack up as a go-to travel sneaker. Let's go. Now, before we get into the shoes, a quick disclaimer here. Everyone's feet are completely unique. And I didn't mean to rhyme there, but I did. What works perfectly for my foot shape, my size, and arch may feel totally different for you. I also want to be clear, I have not worn each of these sneakers across multiple trips, climates, or surfaces because that would take me years to do with 11 different pairs of shoes. So these reviews are based on my experience of trying them on, researching the materials and fit, and making some educated assumptions about how they might work for wider feet, narrower feet, or for those travel-specific concerns like long days of walking or swollen feet on flights or rainy weather. So take this as what it is, a style meets travel review of sneakers that line up with this season's biggest trends and hopefully give you some ideas about what might work best for your own adventures and perhaps even around your own hometown. One of the things that has me so excited about these fall 2025 sneaker trends is that they cover both fashion and function. We're seeing suede textures, retro swim silhouettes, clean white low tops, pops of primary colors, and even animal prints. Comfort brands are also coming in strong with some good insoles and orthopedic friendly designs without sacrificing the cuteness elements. It's really the best of both worlds. Style that looks current and comfort that makes sense for travel. I love that many of the styles play well with all the clothes, from comfy lounge sets to dresses, making them so versatile for travel capsule wardrobe options. I have decided to go through these from the lowest price to the highest price, but as you know with everything these days, the prices that I show you now might be very different than when you go to look at the shoes when I'm putting this video out. First up, we have the No Boundaries Retro Lace-Up sneakers from Walmart, and they come in at only $25. They are budget-friendly, trendy, lightweight, and these give you the slim retro silhouette that is so in this fall without breaking the bank. They are, kind of thinner materials and a little less cushiony than some of these other shoes, but these would be a perfect second pair of shoes for a trip if you wanted something that maybe you could wear over wherever you're traveling to and trade them in for a pair of shoes that you might decide to buy when you're abroad. They're super cute. In fact, after I told my sister about them, she went out and bought a pair too, and I've worn these around quite a bit just around town. They're comfortable. They're a little wide for my foot, so I do have to wear a little bit of a thicker sock with them when I'm wearing them, but they're very cute. Definitely have that European Adidas look to them, and I love the colors. They come in a couple of different color options, but I really do like this khaki and black. It just goes with so much. Shoe number 2 is this Amazon brand, the STQ brand. They're retro low top sneakers, and it comes in at $30. They are a classic white tennis shoe with a pop of red, which ties into that primary color trend that I love. They are marketed as orthopedic, so you get a little more built-in support than your average budget sneaker. And it's a great everyday option that gives you some style and practicality at a really good price. They are surprisingly lightweight. In fact, they might be one of the lightest weight shoes that I'm showing you today. And they are pretty comfy. They are a little bit wider. The heel cup is a little wide for me, but otherwise they are pretty comfy. They've got, like I said, they market as orthopedic, and they've got kind of that pad here for your heel. So if you have, what some of us have, it feels like a really, like our heel bone, you can really feel the ground when you're walking. It has that little pad in there that is super comfortable for walking around for long days. I think these are a great budget option. Actually, I think both of the first two pairs are great budget options. Our third shoe is another Amazon brand. It's the Tidu, T-I-D-U brand, and they are kind of a dupe for Vionic shoes, and these are their canvas orthopedic sneakers that come in at $49. These are all about function. If you deal with plantar fasciitis or foot pain, the arch support in here is quite good. They are a khaki canvas, which is very neutral, and it's not necessarily the trendiest, but they would make very good shoes for those long travel days or big walking days that you have. They are incredibly comfortable and surprisingly lightweight, much lighter than I thought they were going to be with this thick sole here. Very, very cushioned around the ankle and the heel cup. Just a fantastic shoe for the price. Shoe number 4 is another Amazon brand that I have 3 or 4 pairs of shoes from them. They're the Cushionaire brand, and these are their kicks, their fall sneaker for this year, and they come in at $50. They do have a memory foam insole inside, some great non-slip tread, and they are, you know, along that kind of retro sneaker look with the khaki and the black. I do think that the Walmart shoe has a little bit of an upper hand on the styling. I think these are a little basic and plain, and they are pretty heavy. They fit my narrow foot pretty well, except for the heel cup is a little big. My heel does kind of slip in and out of them. Again, would have to wear thicker socks with them in order to wear them more often. Like I said, they're heavy. They're probably one of the heaviest shoes that I am showing you today. So I'm not sure how great they would be as a travel shoe unless you wore them on your travel day. They are comfortable, but I think some of the other ones that I've talked about previous to these are more comfortable and more stylish. So these aren't necessarily my favorite, and I was a little disappointed because I usually really do like the Cushionaire brand and what they put out. Shoe number 5 is one that I don't think I've owned a shoe from this brand since the height of aerobics back in the 1980s, and it is a pair of Reeboks. But y'all, I have to say, I love the look of these shoes. So these are the Reebok Classic AZ Legacy shoes, and they are coming in at about $65, and they do come in multiple colors. I think there were 4 or 5 different colors of bold, bright colors like this red that you could choose from. Y'all, these are so comfortable, and just fun. I think that's the thing that I like about them the most, is this red color is just so much fun and is going to add such a pop to your outfits, especially if you're, dressing for fall and winter and you're tending towards a lot of dark clothing for the year. Throwing on a pair of red shoes is always going to be a nice little pop to your outfit. And these bright colors are really on trend this year. As for the fit, they fit my foot really well. And my foot is a little on the narrow side. So if you do have a wider foot, you might want to consider ordering a wide or going up a size in these. But they are very cushiony, super comfortable to walk around in. I don't think I would have any trouble walking around in these all day on a tour day, or even wearing them as my travel shoe, my travel day shoe. Just a great statement shoe, and the price is super reasonable. Number 6 is a brand that I know a lot of you like, and that is the Kizik's. These are the Kizik Irvine slip-on shoes, and they come in at about $89. And like all Kizik shoes, they are slip-on, so you don't have to bend down and pull the heel up. You can just slip your foot right into the shoe and it stays on. And even though we don't have to worry about taking off our shoes in airport security here in the US anymore, or at this time anyway, could change in the future, you never know. Other places in the world, when you are going through airport security, you are still going to have to take off your shoes. So they still make a great travel shoe option for those airport days. These are pretty lightweight. I'd say they're kind of moderate weight in comparison to the rest of the shoes that I've been showing. For me, they're a little wide on my foot. I would really need to lace them up fairly tight. And I feel like my foot is kind of swimming around in them, but they're probably a great option for those of you with wider feet. And especially if you do struggle with getting your shoes on and off, these are a fantastic option. And I just love this kind of putty leather material. I can't remember if they're waterproof or just water resistant. I will put on the screen somewhere if they're waterproof or water resistant, because I think they are waterproof. But I don't want to tell you wrong. I will put that somewhere here. They have just a really nice, sleek look, but they would look great with a dressier outfit and with something more casual. A great option for those of you who want something a little more understated than the last shoe that I just talked about, and that is easy to take on and off. Shoe number 7, the Reef Lay Dawn sneaker, comes in at $95, and this is the second time that I am talking about this style of sneaker. So for my previous sneaker video, I talked about a pair that I had borrowed from a friend that was a little bit too big for me, but I did really like them. So after that, I did purchase them in this black leather version, and I have been wearing these for almost a year now, and I absolutely love these shoes. These went with me to Portugal, and I wore them quite often in Portugal, walking around. Super comfy. They've got like a cork insole that's really soft and supportive on your arches, and they are another, similar to the Kizik, they're another shoe that you can just slip on and slip off, so make great airport shoes. And they just have that nice classic sneaker style to them, and I love the color options that they have. They still have that kind of gold color, so if you want something a little dressier, then that is an option. I went with the black because I just wanted something that I knew that I was doing more of. The past couple of capsule wardrobes I've done, I knew I was wearing more stuff that a black shoe was going to go better with than a white or a gold, and I felt like these were very versatile. I'm a big fan of the Reef Lay Dawn shoes, especially if you want something a little more casual and a little more of a slip-on style shoe. Shoe number 8 is a shoe I've been seeing all over in airports and touring around lately, especially over this summer, and I have been coveting them. So I was super excited to purchase my own pair. And so shoe number 8 is the New Balance 327, and they do come in at about $105. Yeah, they're spendy. They're more of an investment than most of the shoes that I've been talking about. But guys, wow, I just love the styling on these shoes. I don't know. There's something about them that I just think is super classy. Look at that tread. I mean, you're not going to go anywhere with the tread that's on the bottom of this shoe. They do come with both white and black laces. I put the black laces on mine because I think that it just makes it look a little classier. And they do come in a few other color combinations than the black and cream, but I have been looking for a replacement for my Merrell sneakers lately, and I think that these are going to do that job. They have that retro vibe, but with a very modern take on it. New Balance does usually give a really nice wider toe box and very good arch support. So if you do need a more structured shoe, this is probably a great one for you. Very trendy, very supportive. I just love them. And I can't wait to wear them for more trips. I think they're going to be a solid shoe for me for quite a while, especially given the amount of money I paid for them. So, you know, there's that. Shoe number 9 is from a brand that many of you suggested that I try out. So I purchased a pair to take on my Africa trip with me, and it is the Carrie Uma brand. And these are their low top suede sneakers in leopard, and they come in at about $115. These were super comfortable, so thank you very much to whoever suggested that I try them out. Plus, Carrie Uma is a sustainable forward company. The insoles are vegan. They try to practice eco-friendly, sustainable practices as much as they can, in addition to making some really cute shoes. They are on the heavier side. The soles are a little bit heavier than some of the other shoes that I've been showing today, but these were incredibly comfortable. And like I said, I wore them almost every day and they really did not get very dirty at all. Now these are suede and the red Reeboks are suede, so both of those you might want to treat with something before you wear them out, especially if you are going somewhere where it's going to be very rainy. As for the leopard print, like I said, it is very, very on trend these days. The leopard is. Animal prints are back in pretty much across the board this fall, which I am happy. I like a good leopard print used in moderation. And this is a great way to add a little bit of extra pattern to whatever you're wearing. I wore mostly neutral colors in Africa, so these really went well with everything. But they'd look good with red, with black. Very, very versatile, even though it is a pattern. Shoe number 10 is one that I kind of debated about including in this video or not once I went back to look at the price on them and realized that they are out of stock everywhere, unfortunately. And it looks like the company has replaced them with another way more expensive version for the fall and winter. But I talked about them in my Unpack With Me from Africa video. And I had told you that I would tell you more about these shoes when I did this video. So I'm going to tell you more about these shoes, and maybe they'll come back again in the spring, or perhaps you might want to go try out the leather versions that they have coming out for this fall. So these are the Taos high top sneakers, and I think they call them like the graphite sneaker or something. These are the canvas version, and this is what was out this summer and what I purchased before I went to my Africa trip. These were only $80 when I purchased them this summer. Unfortunately, the leather ones that I'll put up here somewhere on the screen, the leather ones that they have available for this fall are $190. So yeah, they're a bit of an investment, but it is Taos, and leather is a good fall and winter type of shoe to have. It might be an option for you. These were incredibly comfortable. I wore these a lot on our safari days. I love that they have, and the leather ones do too, I love that they have the zipper for getting in and out of the shoe, so you don't have to lace and unlace the shoes. They have incredible arch support. I mean, we all know Taos is known for very, very comfort forward shoes, and they have pretty good styling going on too. I just thought these were a fun addition. They feel very youthful, I guess is the right way to put that. I don't know, youthful seems to be a bad word these days, but I think it's still useful to use as an adjective to describe things. I feel pretty young when I'm wearing the high tops. They were fun. They looked really cute with the pants that I took, both the leggings and the travel pants that I traveled with. I think they'd look really cute with a dress as well. I did not wear them with anything dressy. They are probably the least dressy of the options that I have shown you today. But I did want to make sure that I went over these since I had promised you I would talk about them in this video. Maybe, hopefully, they'll come out with them again in the spring. If they do, I'll try to remember to come back to this video and link the new link for them. Perhaps try seeing if you can find them on Etsy, or what are some of the Poshmark or some of the other online like thrift store kind of options. They might have these available, because I know that other people have found other Taos shoes on those platforms before. I would say if you like the style, not only are they nice looking, but they're also very, very comfortable. And for a bonus sneaker, I had so many of you suggest trying out the Hokas. So I did. I purchased a pair of the Hoka Clifton 10s, and I did get them in all white. So far, I haven't gotten them too dirty, but you know, just give me time. I'm sure they'll be pretty dirty in the future. I have been wearing these as my walking shoes for the past probably 6 weeks to 2 months, and I do like them. They took a while to get used to being so high up and the whole like cushiony part of it, of walking. The other issue I've had with them is you do have to remember to lift your foot a little bit higher, because I've been, with the soles being so thick, I kind of will hit my toe when I come down, because I'm not used to having to lift my foot so high in order to get my shoe out of the way of things, especially like, you know, cracks in the sidewalk or something like that. They are because of my foot issues, I've got nerve ending issues across the top of my foot on my left foot. So I do have them laced pretty loosely. I have found them really comfortable. I don't know that I find them any more comfortable than my New Balance walking shoes. At $153 versus say $90 for my New Balance walking sneakers, I don't know that I would pay $60 more for another pair of Hoka's. That's my own personal opinion. I know many of you absolutely love them. I'm also not a huge fan of wearing this style of like actual athletic sneaker when I am traveling. I just don't think that they're very versatile. I think that you're very limited I mean, anybody can wear anything with anything. And I mean, that is, you do you. There are no rules in fashion. In fact, I think every day that goes by, the more everybody should just express themselves the way that they would like to express themselves. So if you want to wear Hoka's with a dressy dress, then by all means, if that's what you're comfortable in and you like the way that looks and that is your thing, then it's just not my thing. Let's put it that way. It's not my thing, not a style that I'm gonna wear. These are all, everything else on here I would absolutely wear hands down with pretty much any piece of clothing that I own. The Hoka's, I would probably stick to just wearing them with athletic wear, but that again is just me. That's my style that I choose to wear. So would they be comfortable all day as a travel sneaker? Maybe. They're not for me. Like I walk my 3 to 5 miles in these and my feet are kind of hurting by the time I'm done. So I don't find athletic sneakers comfortable to walk in all day long when I am traveling. I need something that's a little less structured than this. In fact, the New Balance shoes I probably would find challenging to walk for, you know, say an 8-hour day of touring around. I would probably start to have a little bit of an issue. A less structured shoe is better for my foot for all day. That's why I think I like the Reef Lay Day and the Cariuma sneakers a little bit better for those longer days of fully being on your feet and walking around. The way the sneakers come across the top of your foot or anyone's foot, it starts to make my foot ache a little bit by the time I've been in them for a while. So that's my take on the Hoka's. I get why people find them very comfortable. I do understand that, but I'm probably not going to invest the money in another pair of Hoka's after I wear these out. I will continue to wear these until I wear them out, but I'll probably go back to my New Balance after these. Now, looking at this year's trends is super fun, but if you are looking for more of a simple, low-key, all-purpose sneaker for your next adventures, then you might want to check out this video next. Thank you so much for choosing to watch this video today, and I hope you have safe and wonderful travels.